Hello and welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso, and I just realized that my nose and cheeks are shining bright. That is from rubbing alcohol I just put on my face, and I don't know why I did it right before I did this video, but nevertheless, I did. Okay, I got lost. My name is Robert Rosso. I'm your host of Convict Inc. Please hit the subscribe button if you have not, and I want to thank those that have. I'm above 80, I think at 82 right now. I really want 1,000 so I can go live. And speaking of live, I've started a podcast. Haven't done one yet. Not going to till after the first of the year. It's called Convict Inc. I will keep people informed. I believe I'm going to make these different from these videos. I think I'm going to focus on straight criminal justice reform. I think we will see. Today's story is about two white prison gangs, and that is the Dirty White Boys, or the D.W.Bs, and the A.R.M resistance militia, also known as A.R.Ms. This occurred in 2002, and this happened in the United States Penitentiary in Leavenworth, Kansas, or USP Leavenworth. Now, this is really a part of Leavenworth history. Leavenworth's a historical prison, and big events that happen in that place kind of stick and stay and become folklore or whatever throughout history. So anyway, this is one of those things. It was a big deal when it happened. And that is that the Dirty White Boys and the A.R.Ms declared war on each other. People that have been in the feds, I've heard so many times throughout the years say this is one that the A.R.Ms smashed the D.W.Bs, or the A.R.Ms ran the Dirty White Boys out of Leavenworth. And it's true that for a number of years, no Dirty White Boys were allowed on that compound. Even when it became a lower security prison, anybody with the Dirty White Boy patch that accidentally was put out was smashed off the yard. And this is the story behind all that. In the summer of 2002, I was in the KC Model Program. The KC Model Program was for losers. It was a step-down program. So I was in trouble a lot. I stayed in the shoe or the hole a lot. And they came up with an idea to put us in a program. That is, we're locked and confined in our cells most of the day. We get to go to chow with general population. We had an hour or two out for rec. And then we were locked in our cells by 5 o'clock. Sometimes we were out for like an hour after dinner, if I remember correctly. I think that was in the summer. Anyway, in the KC Model Program with me at that time, as far as Dirty White Boys, it was me, Weasel, and Head. Head was actually my cellie. There was a day in around the end of March of 2002 when Head had some heroin for sale. And one of the people that approached him was the shot caller for the A.R.Ms, also known as Speed. I will not give his full name. I heard that he's since died in a motorcycle accident. Not sure, but anybody who was in the feds, especially at that time, knows who Speed was. So Speed came to Head, heard Head was selling dope, and approached him and, asked for a front. Now, Head and Speed weren't on the best of terms. And it wasn't because Speed was the head of A.R.Ms or in the A.R.Ms. It was Head. It's just Head was you had to know him. You had to know him to love him or even like him. But he was kind of hard, difficult. At least he presented himself that way. Once you knew him, it was a little bit different. But for whatever reason, Head fronted Speed this dope. And a day or so later, Speed came back and gave Head his money. About a week goes by, Head's outside, and I was with him, and here comes Speed. And Speed had some speed for sale. That's methamphetamine. So how it goes down is Head told Speed that he wanted some. These two had never had any dealings. Little sidebar, they didn't deal with each other, especially on the drug level. Head said he didn't have no money, but that he had something in the mix and that he would pay him within a week. Now, what he actually had in the mix was a robbery. Not a robbery. He was extorting somebody. He found out that a guy had an issue out at Unicor. This guy had allegedly told staff some information that led to another person's arrest or going to the hole. And Head was using that to go rob him. And what I mean by that is Head was the guy that would stick a knife to your throat and walk you to the phone. That was like a hustle for him. Big kid, and I say kid, he was in his early 20s. And there was no reason to believe that Head was not going to follow through with this robbery / extortion. That's what he did. Also, he had family that can send him money. Three of his sisters were married to kingpins in Florida, and he got money often. If he got himself where if he needed money, his family would send it to him. And Head, like myself and everybody else at that time that was a D.W.B. except for one, was strung out. That's how we did our time, on drugs, high on alcohol, just ripping and roaring. Speed went ahead and fronted Head. Speed went ahead and fronted Head a gram for $400, and that's kind of a little pricey for methamphetamine in prison. It was normally about $300, but Head took the gram, and we went back to the cells, and I did some, and it was Weasel's birthday, and Weasel did some, and Head finished it all. Week goes by. Head's victim, the guy he was going to go and rob, left. He went to court, or he found out what was going to happen, and he either went into protective custody or he went to court. I forgot exactly how that happened. Head didn't have any money, so he wasn't able to pay Speed. Speed didn't bring it up. Instead, Speed started going to other dirty white boys. First, he approached, I think, Billy. Some days went by. Billy goes to Head. Hey, Head, did you pay Speed? Yeah, I'm going to, bro. I'm going to take care of that. Never communicating with Speed. And to be honest, Speed was actually kind of stupid, because if somebody owes you money, you should go and confront them. Now, there's guys that will say that's not their job, that if a person owes you money, they should be talking to you about it, especially if they don't have it. And that's true. It's true. If you owe somebody money in prison, you damn sure should go say something. Head did not. A little while longer, some days go by, Head still doesn't pay Speed, and Speed goes to a different brother and says, hey, your bro Head hasn't paid me. Can you guys work something out? Blah, blah, blah. So this person brings it back to Head. Head says, yeah, I'm going to take care of it. I got something going. My sisters are going to send me money. I'll take care of it. Okay. One day, No-Nos, who you could say thought he was our shot caller, or he was in a kind of a leadership role, not officially a shot caller, but he was the one that we had just left. We were kind of in between. Anyway, and No-Nos, by the way, was a Golden Gloves boxer in Oregon State Prison. In his early 40s, worked out every day, was very serious, did not do heroin, and hated all of us for doing heroin, but would drink every minute of every day and would smoke as much weed as you can give him. So, very aggressive, alpha male, and as is Head. No-Nos approaches Head about the situation, and they get into actually a little arguing match over it, No-Nos tried to do the right thing a lot of times, although it was always self-serving. But he tried to do the right thing, and Head was in the wrong for not paying Speed, especially since Speed was a gang member and he was a shot caller of the gang. Now, there was only like 3 arms on the yard at that time. There could have been up to 5, but what they did have was a large backing behind them. A lot of guys didn't like the dirty white boys, or they would talk behind our back, okay? So, and that there's a lot of reasons behind that, and it doesn't really matter why. But behind the scenes, what was going on at this time, we didn't know it, in the years that followed, a lot of people started teaming up together. A lot of gangs, a lot of independent whites teaming up together. And sometimes if a dirty white boy came onto the compound, they would immediately hit them because the dirty white boys got such a bad rap. And the bad rap came from being the largest, most dominant prison gang for so many years. A lot of the dirty white boys had done some grimy shit, but there was a lot of victims along the way. A lot of guys that deserved to be victims, a lot of guys that didn't deserve to be victims. So people were starting to get tired of the D.W.Bs, period. So behind the scenes, Speed and some other guys were grouping up and trying to get guys to go against the dirty white boys for any reason. We didn't know this at this time. So Speed does not approach Head over this deal. One day after dinner, we snuck out on the yard to go get some drugs. And that is, we were supposed to go to dinner, then go back to the KC model program and get locked down. We were jonesing. We wanted to get high. So me, Head, and Weasel run out to the yard to go cop some dope. As we were going out, Head's out in the softball field looking for a guy that had drugs, and I was waiting by some other brothers of mine. So there was No Nose, Billy, Cub, which was a prospect. Those are the ones I remember. I think Dusty. Yeah, Dusty was there. So here comes Speed, and Speed comes up to me and a little bit of aggressive, And my other bros are over there, but Speed comes to me and says, "Hey, Rob, hey, motherfucking Head owes me money, bro, and he's got to pay me. This is going to be a problem." And I looked at him and I said, and he's in the right. He's 100% in the right. But my mind was elsewhere. My mind was making sure we got these drugs. And I really didn't want to hear this. And I said, "Yeah, okay, wait, you want to talk to Head? Hold on just 1 minute." So I yell across the compound and I tell Head to come here. Head runs thinking that I just got dope. So he's anxious, yeah. And when he gets there and he says, "What'd you get, brother? What'd you get?" And I said, "Man, Speed wants to talk." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Does he got dope?" And I'm like, no. He wants the money on him. He's like, "Man, where the fuck's that dude at?" So now he's mad because he went out there to get drugs. He was in the process of running game on somebody to get the drugs, because that's really what he was doing. He didn't have a pot to piss in, but he was going to get these drugs. And he thought I had him. And now he finds out that I just called him over because Speed had said something to me, and I wanted him to talk to Speed. Now, I should throw in that all of our brothers were kind of on Head to pay Speed, saying it was going to become a problem. And Head was just kind of like, yeah, I'll do it when I do it. And then he became even more bold because he looked at Speed like he was a bitch, because Speed didn't have the heart to confront him. And Speed should have. Well, Head finds Speed and tells Speed, "Hey, come here. And he did it like that. Now, he was in front of, the fan just went on. I can't go shut it off now. I mean, the heater. He was in front of the bleachers when there was a softball game. That means there was a big set of bleachers in the yard, and there was hundreds of guys in these bleachers. And Head yells in a dominant way, "Hey, come here," to Speed. And you could have seen everybody kind of, you could have heard a pin drop almost on the yard, because people saw that this was Head yelling, like telling a shot caller, "Come here." Now, when you approach somebody or you want to talk to somebody and you kind of want to make them feel little, you tell them to come here. You take the aggressive approach. Instead of going to them, you say, "Hey, you come here." That's a power move right there, to be honest. Anyway, Speed came, and he had another arm by the name of Mike, and he had another one with him too. I forgot who it was at the time. So Head told Speed, he said, what the fuck's up?" He's like, "What do you mean, what's up, Head?" Speed was kind of respectful. "What do you mean, what's up, Head? You've owed me money for a long time." He goes, "Why the fuck haven't you asked me about it? Why you been saying something to all my brothers? Because you haven't paid me." And there were some words exchanged, and Head goes, "You know what? Fuck you. I'm not paying you a fucking dime." And Speed's like, what do you mean you're not paying me a dime?" He goes, "What the fuck do you think I just said?" And Speed goes, Head, we can't do this because it's going to cause too many problems between our brothers." He said, "Brothers?" And he said, "Huh." And then there's a little group of guys around Speed. He said, "I see my brothers, but all I see is sisters behind you." Again, this is in front of the bleachers. And the people that were sitting closest were the Emmy and the Serranos. When Head said that to Speed, the next thing he says is, "You know what, as a matter of fact, get your fucking ass behind the bleachers and let's deal with it now." And Speed goes, "Nah, we can't do it now. I'll hurt you soon," and takes off. When this happened, everybody was in shock, okay? Because first of all, Head is a bad boy. Head can fight. Don't know where he is today. Me and him got along real good. It was one of the good, I considered him a good bro. Anyway, but Speed got his name from fighting. He was fast. Stabbed a black guy in Lompoc. He was kind of infamous within the prison system, or famous. That'd be famous in the prison system. And everybody knew Speed. Speed was not nobody to play with. And he was also in the martial arts. Skinny guy. Head was a big, dumb, stupid strength kid. Big, 6'2", 6'3", but just solid muscle. He just stupid. He had that retard strength. Excuse me, you know what I mean. He had that. I didn't mean to offend nobody if I said that. Anyway, he had that stupid strength about him. You guys know what I mean. When the arms left, well, the first thing we did is we went and got dope. So we made sure our dope was secure. So before we started talking about the incident, and No-Nos and some of our brothers were there, and they were trying to talk to Head, saying, man, look what you just did. You just caused a bunch of problems. And we got our dope, and then on the way back to the unit, Head's just like, you know what, fuck that. These guys aren't going to do shit. They're a bunch of pussies, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Head, if you think that this is dead and squashed, you're a fool. We got to go jump on those dudes right now. We shouldn't even go to the program. Let's just go get knives or whatever we got to do, and let's go handle it. I did say that. I said, let's go do this, because you can't embarrass somebody. He just neutered the guy. I mean, he just cut his balls off. There's no way. And if you knew Speed was not a punk. To even walk away was very surprising. It absolutely was. And to this day, I don't know why. But I knew what time it was. I knew right then and there was big problems coming between the Dirty White Boys and the Arms. Now, we had a lot of guys. We had more than, in a gang, in a white gang, if you have 10, you've got a lot of guys. We had probably, I want to say, closer to 15, but we were, nobody was out on the compound at one time. We stayed in the hole most of the time. We, meaning most members of the D.W.Bs, stayed in the hole most of the time. So, there was only anywhere from 3 to 7 at any given time in general population. The next day goes by. We go back to the unit. We get high, and I tell Head, let's roll. I'm going to have a meeting the next day, and I'm going to push to move against the Arms, because something was going to happen. The next day we went outside, and half of the guys that were out there, and you know what? And I'm thinking about it now. We had quite a few guys on the compound, surprisingly. I remember there was a TC Youngster, Cub, Billy, Dusty. They were all at this meeting, and they agreed that we needed to do something. But the truth is, everybody was just too high and to really deal with it. It was like, we're going to deal with it. We got to do it. But let's go get that dope. Let's go find some heroin. Let's go, because nobody had like a clavo. Nobody had a grip. Everybody was just getting papers and just chasing our next high. A couple days goes by, and I'm in my cell, and I find out that one of our brothers got into it with another one. The day following that, we were getting ready to go make a move against the Arms. We'd finally coordinated enough to where we were going to go, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get them in the chow. We're going to get them here. We're going to, we were planning the attack. We're starting to put it together that we knew we had to move. By the way, in the days after the incident on the yard, you can feel the tension. Rumors were circulating that they were going to move on us. And they were. And it was stupid. We were just all sitting there, just with our dicks in our hands, as being stupid. Actually, with the needles in our arms. That's what we were really doing. On a Saturday, I'm sitting in my cell, doing a shot of dope, in the mirror, like this. And a CO opens the door, and I've got this outfit in my hand. And I look up, and she said, Rosso, they want you at the lieutenant's office. As soon as they said that, I went and hurried up and pushed that thing in and kind of cuffed it after I was done and turned around. I didn't stop. I didn't want to lose it. And she saw me. She saw what I had, and she just shook her head, and she rolled out. I knew if they want me in the lieutenant's office, that the chances of me going to jail, going to the SHU are good. So I got everything together that I could, and that is the outfit. Took the outfit, put it together, and then keistered it, and I had another paper of dope. I put that in my watch band. It was a Velcro. Put that in there because I was going to cuff it. Instead, I didn't want to put it in. I didn't want to keister it. Went to the special housing unit, and they said, no, go straight to the SHU. go to the lieutenant's office. I went to the lieutenant's office. They said, you're getting locked up. I said, what happened? They said, your brothers are at war with one another. I said, what? What had happened was Head and Weasel and Youngster and another one of them went and jumped on No-Nos. Whole different issue, okay? So it was a brother-on-brother war. They locked up all the dirty white boys and our associates and affiliates. Close to 30 altogether. I think there was 28 or 29 guys that got locked up in that roundup. And again, what had happened was there was an incident between D.W.B on D.W.B a couple days before. Then there was that incident. Before that, there was another incident about a month away where two of our bros beat up another one, Rob Hutzel. He was the victim, dirty white boy in that case. Rob got smashed because he let a black guy call him a bitch and some other stuff. So we all get locked down, and we're there a couple days, and we start getting messages from the compound that said the A.R.Ms are going to smash all the dirty white boys on sight. On sight means as soon as they see you. When you get released from the SHU at Leavenworth, the guard opens a gate, and standing in front of what would be the east yard or in front of the hospital is our inmates. So it was common for guys to get released from the SHU and just get jumped on if people didn't want them. So they were basically saying they were going to jump on the dirty white boys, any dirty white boy they saw as soon as they came out. And what had happened was Speed had went to an Odinist event. So the Odinist in prison, it's a white religion, white-based religion. It was started in Leavenworth by a guy named Scott Tolley. He's the one that got the pit, the Odinist pit, put together at Leavenworth, and he became a dirty white boy. There was a bunch of Odinist guys that would just go there. They would use the Odinist event to do dirt or drink and do other things. At this Odinist event, Speed, the leader of the A.R.Ms, gave a speech about how the dirty white boys needed to be smashed. Started bringing up all the issues that the dirty white boys had done and got a bunch of guys to agree. One of them also being Kevin O'Neill. Kevin O'Neill is the president of the Wisconsin chapter of the Outlaw Motorcycle Gang, the Outlaws. I know a lot of outlaws, by the way. Spike, that's Kevin O'Neill. Spike had also agreed that the dirty white boy should be hit with Speed. And that was over a different incident with another outlaw. So you had a big group of people that didn't want the dirty white boys on the compound. And what had happened was the staff, of course, gets wind of it. And we had a warden there at the time who was a convicts warden and thought that they'd just let us handle it ourselves. So what they did was, first they let the associates out, then the affiliates, then they let the associates out. The next person, then there was just the dirty white boys and our prospect. Our prospect's name was Cub. The dirty white boys collectively had a lot of money left on the compound, poker tables especially up in B Upper, over $1,000 owed. So Cub was sent out to the compound to go collect some money. When Cub gets out and goes to B Upper, he's informed by a guy named Howie, a white guy from California named Whitey, and one of the A.R.Ms that the dirty white boys no longer have any tables in the prison, and that the money that the dirty white boys owed, they took. And after they told Cub that, they beat the hell out of him. They smashed him. So Cub is sent back to the hole, just beaten down. I mean, they did a number on this guy, and it was, this is what's going to happen. The message was, this is what's going to happen to the dirty white boys. Now, I should say that we had poker tables, dirty white boy poker tables in every unit, and really that just meant that you can run a poker table, but you give us a cut of it. That's how it was. And for giving us a cut, we're supposed to protect you or collect money or whatever. That didn't happen a lot. We just got cuts of the table. That's the truth. So it's on. So, it's on and popping. So what we start doing at that point is we start making knives. We sat in that shoe and just made knives. We also because we were causing a lot of problems in the SHU, we got moved to Building 63. Building 63 was a different housing unit, and they opened that up to fix A range, which we were housed, but they also were putting the Dirty White Boys in a separate area. And on 8302, I just told you we were making knives. We're in a cell, and cops do a shakedown and find a weapon. The shot is for possession of a weapon. It's hard to really see. It just basically says Officer such and such, I can't even see his name, was doing a round and found a knife in inmate Rosso's cell. The knife was a 4-inch piece of steel that was going to be smuggled out in my boot or whatever D.W.B's boot. That's where it was going to be. And as soon as the person went to each yard, we were going to get a knife and hit whoever we saw. Whoever looked like they were going to be a threat to us was going to be hit. And we had specific ones that we wanted to target because, like I said, there was arms and there was other people that were riding against us. But the arms were running it. Now, what we did not know at the time was that Speed had come up with the idea to increase his numbers substantially. The arms were a really small group. There wasn't too many in these other prisons. And what they had was a lot of guys who saw that Speed was taking an initiative to get rid of the Dirty White Boys, and they jumped on the bandwagon. And they wanted to be part of, a part of something. So Speed created what's called the 88s. The 88s became another white prison gang. Excuse me. They became another white gang, and in order to become a made member of the ARMs, you first had to become an 88. The 88s were originally organized to be foot soldiers or step-up gang to the ARMs. You had to be an 88, which was a gang. Then you had to do whatever, and then at some point you can become an ARMs. So, it was a real clever thing that Speed did. One of the reasons it's my understanding that he created the ARM was because there was a Mexican called Mexican Mike. Mike wanted to be a member of the ARMs, but because of his bloodline, could not be. But he was a valuable guy. One thing, he was bringing in dope, and I can say that freely because he got busted bringing it in. His family did too, from what I understand. But Mike couldn't be armed, so they helped create this gang so Mike can be a part of the 88s, which is another white gang, but it was a Mexican shot caller of that gang or whatever. He was, I don't really know his status, but he was high up there, as was a guy named Howie. So we were prepared to go out on that compound, and we were going to start getting out there and hitting them as soon as we knew we were hurt. We knew we were outnumbered. We were just trying to do whatever we could. It was scary. It was absolutely scary because this was very, very, very serious. And when you have a prison turn against you like that, and you're on the other side, meaning all these white guys are turning against D.W.Bs, it was scary. So I'm not some super tough guy or tough guy. I'm not going to pretend. So yeah, I wanted a knife, and yes, I would have done what I had to do at the time. There were staff members that were crooked there, as is every prison, and a lot of these crooked staff members would bring us in contraband, usually tobacco or stuff from the yard. So we had a lot of guys that still liked us in general population, and they would send us bags of contraband, tobacco, food, stuff like that. And the guards would bring it to us. One day, one of these guards dropped some stuff off and said, "Hey, man, he said his real name, that's Speed. He said, Speed is telling the warden not to let the Dirty White Boys out." Now, if you guys have been done any time, then you know that this is snitching. There's no difference between that and telling. The truth is, the sad truth is that a lot of people in positions of power in gangs in prison use staff to do their dirty work. It's kind of like the mafia. When you think about the old mafia, like the 5 families in New York, how many of them had cops on the take? Most of them, right? Do you think that they paid the cops, but they didn't feed the cops information to take out some of their rivals? Well, there's books there. You know that they did. In prison, there's a lot of gangs, gang leaders that tell staff things about the other gangs to get them wiped out. So they're really ratting, they're really feeding them. That's how it works. And I don't know what else Speed was doing. However, I'm confident enough to put this in this video because this is, this is no secret, and this is actually a fact. And when the warden, Connor, came around with the associate warden, which is Beasy, and the SIS and the SIA, they all did rounds one day. And we said, hey, when are you going to let us back out on the compound? The warden says, I can't. And you said, we can, and Billy, I think it was, we can sign tough guy papers. We don't care. We're not going to go out. And the warden said, and I don't mind you going out, and I'd rather have you be out. The problem is, boom, and he said Speed's name, won't let you come out. He came to us and he said that they have no other choice to jump on you but to let you out, and he'd rather them just ship you all. That was in prison, in a maximum security prison. That is like, it's devastating to the guy that he'd be snitched on like by the warden to Speed. He got outed by the warden. Now, people can say that the staff lies, this and that, but the whole executive staff was right there. This was a very big deal for the safety and security of the prison. This was a very serious incident in which people could have died. But to have him even put that out there like that, what he was a convict's warden. So for Connor to have done this, big deal, guys. A big deal. And you knew he was telling the truth. And we were just like, we couldn't believe it. So sure enough, we all got transferred, and we got transferred because the leader, the shot caller for the Aryan Resistance Militia, aka Speed, told the staff not to let us out. And that's what really happened. Now, I and other brothers would sending letters to other duty white boys in the system to look out, that it's on and popping between us and the arms. I actually sent a letter to Pollock, Louisiana, to one of my brothers, Wilbur, and he got locked up because they intercepted the letter and they couldn't figure out because I put long arms instead of arms. I will say that we got transferred, I ended up in Lewisburg, and sure enough, there was an arms that ended up on the compound, and I had him smashed. I was in a leadership role, and I had that done. The guy fought, and he was a hell of a fighter. Matter of fact, it took 3 of us to take him out. Not kill him. He got beat up, but he was a tough son of a bitch, and yeah, I give him all the respect in the world. The issues, from what I understand, and I haven't been a part of that world in a long time, and now that I'm free, I don't hear anything. That issue was resolved. As a matter of fact, one of my bros lived in the SMU program, which is Special Management Unit. They're locked down for a couple of years. He was in the SMU program with another leader of the arms, a different leader. The last I know about the arms is the Dirty White Boys arms. They kind of had, a truce. Having said that, the Dirty White Boys in general, as I've said in a different interview for a different YouTube show with Chad Marks, have a bad rap. And I went really long on this video, and I know some of you guys are saying that I go too long. This is what it is. It's kind of an important one. This is part of of BOP history. It really is. And if anybody was involved or have been in USPs, they know that this is talked about to this day. That's what happened. What I'm going to do tomorrow is go ahead and get into white prison gangs in the federal system. And I'm going to tell you about who started the prison gangs in the feds, where it went, and where it is today that I know of. Okay? So sorry for going long. By the way, these videos will be edited, guys. I can't edit them. I don't even know how to edit my regular videos on my phone. So they're going to be done after the first of the year. I will be more conscious on time. So I know that one of my nephews at least hates this. Won't say his name because he didn't like me saying names. Take it easy. Have a good day. This ran 34 minutes. Whew, this is a long one. Hope you enjoy.